Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Ladies and gents, a very warm welcome to the fourth round of the Formula 2 AOR Racing League in Formula 1 2021. As you see, we have a fancy new intro here, but of course, more importantly, we are now driving at the Azerbaijan track, the fourth round, as I said, and the championship is definitely heating up after a very hot and tough race last week in Monaco, where plenty of things happened despite not many overtakes happening there. This circuit is of course a street circuit as well, a very long straight, 2 DRS zones and about 6 kilometers in length. And we are all familiar of course with the famous castle section, where things are incredibly tight of course, so that might be a promising place to be in this race. So then, let's have a fancy little look first of all at the beautiful Azerbaijani flag, and then followed by our driver's standings. Taisu still leading the championship. However, after he finished P10 last race and the Gaffa winning that race, the Gaffa has now closed the gap to just a single point to Taisu. The AM fallen down to P3 after a DNF last time. What it means for the team championship, however, Alpine is still leading quite comfortably by 22 points. And McLaren at the bottom of the table with only 4 points, 75 points behind the lead team at the moment. However, of course, it's only the third round, so there's still plenty of stuff to play for today here in the awesome place that is the AOR F2 League. We'll be starting momentarily as there's still a few drivers I believe missing. I'm currently looking at the list and people are starting to ready up, preparing themselves for the qualifying session here in Azerbaijan. It's going to be tough. It's not as narrow as Monaco was last week, but of course the walls are still incredibly close. And while there's more room for overtaking, you always have to be very careful around the corners of this track. Especially, as I mentioned before, in the castle section, where things will be very tight indeed. If you're here in the chat, let me know. Say hi, or say hello, or say good evening, or whatever you like to say here, to give me a sign that you are indeed watching. And let's have a lot of fun here tonight. Let's see what happens as indeed the host, Johan, is now readying up. A little bit of news in terms of driver switches here. Glucksburn, we haven't seen him yet on track, and that's because he is currently moving from one house to another. He was actually a driver for Red Bull, but he himself has decided to give up his seat, and now Matty, we have seen him driving for several teams in the last 2 races, has now taken over that seat. So Matty, no longer a reserve driver, now driving for Red Bull, while Glucksburn is now a reserve. Speaking of reserve, we also have Ved joining us as a new reserve driver for the second tier of AOR. Other interesting news, of course, we have seen Persegili winning the race on track last time twice in a row, and also his race win being taken away twice in a row. So yeah, a lot of things happened there. Anyway, qualifying session, as you can see, not yet, because I have to switch the screen for you. I do apologize for that. The qualifying has started right now, and we are now waiting for the first cars to go on track. To do a quick shutting of the windows there. Otherwise people outside can hear me screaming of excitement because of commentating this race. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Let's see, several people already going out. Bibix, the first to leave the pit lane here in his Alpha Tauri. On the track at the moment, on the back straight. Heating up his tires, getting himself ready for the hot lap. Let's turn on several interesting details here, of course. Many people are already coming out, actually. Not many people waiting, and it seems like everybody's decided to go for the soft tires, as pretty much everybody knows by now that the medium tire is always a long shot, unless many others decide to go for it as well. Which so far hasn't really happened yet, as the vast majority of the group in the past 3 races has gone for the soft tire. So most are now choosing to go for the medium. We're approaching an interesting section now as well, by the way, just before the end of Sector 2, I believe, last year. The game had an interesting glitch in this corner particularly, where people were calling it the so-called esports line, where you could cut the corner massively and not get a lap invalidation there, while taking several tenths of your lap time. Which of course isn't supposed to happen, and I do believe it's been fixed for this game, but then again you never know with Codemasters not being entirely up to speed in terms of multiplayer just yet. Anyway, BBix then is about to start his lap, and off he goes, followed by a Ferrari. Let's see who the Ferrari is. It's actually the Ferrari of Johan. His teammate Daigoro couldn't make it today, unfortunately, so Boris is sitting in his seat as of this day. Well, not permanently, of course, temporarily, as we'll hopefully see Daigoro again next week. We also see once again Vegas and Strusiek. We've missed both of them last week, as well as Matrix are all back now in business. Revitalized too, and he's still hoping to score some points very soon indeed. Anyway then, Johan and several others are now on their way on a hot lap, and Johan is currently setting the first fastest sector behind BBix. Of course, he's only the second car out, which means there's still plenty of drivers following him behind. One of them is actually Gilmove, I believe. Yes, he's now approaching the castle section, and we know he's very fast in qualifying, but so far in the race he has been very, very unlucky indeed. So let's hope that will turn around, not literally as in being poor in qualifying and great in racing. Let's just hope both of these sessions for him today will go well, as he kind of needs some strong points after a strong qualifying. I mean, kind of makes sense if you think about it. Anyway, past the second sector onto the, well, not really the main straight just yet, as there's a few sort of corners, as we now have a yellow flag in the castle section. I do believe, yes, it's Vegas. He's now currently reversing through the castle section, which puts him at risk of being disqualified if he isn't able to move out of the way quickly now. Oh dear. And oh, that's the front wing damage there, as now Gilmove has set the fastest lap for the time being with a 37.7, which is already pretty rapid. BBix with a 37.8 and a Johan with a 38.3. Now the first 3 cars to have crossed the finish line. Nevo then setting a 38.3 as well, just 4 milliseconds faster than Johan. But then again, it's only the first run, as VAM comes in as Alpine and a 39.0. I'm pretty sure he can do better than that. Another yellow flag then on this part of the track. I believe it's because several cars are slowing down, and one of them is the Ferrari in front. Is that Boris? It is Boris, yes. He's currently slowing down to let the others pass, not aware of the fact that the guy is now passing him. I've already set a lap time, including Skykartoffel, now passing with a 38.4, currently sitting on P6. And Taisu then coming in strong in P3 with a 38.0 at the moment. Let's have a little look here, as Matrix is now crossing the line and heading for a P7, 38.6. I'm pretty sure there's still plenty of improvement for him there, as we have another yellow flag temporarily in the first sector and in the third sector. I believe some cars are going slow here. The car of BBix is going slow, as a Ferrari is now passing dangerously close there. Getting a bit tight. It was actually Boris, who was on, I believe, no, it's not Boris, never mind that. It's Johan, and he's, I think, heading for the pit lane as well. BBix going incredibly slow, causing several yellow flags. I don't believe he's out of fuel, as he's still having decent speed there. Anyway, iBlue is now with the fastest man of the lot in his AlphaTauri, currently sitting in 37.7. Like Gilmove, only 5/100ths quicker, so Still some exciting times going on there. Potato commenting in the Discord that hopefully they've reinforced the castle barrier. Well, so far we haven't been able to figure that out, but feel free to test the castle barriers if you like, Potato. Of course, you're very welcome. I mean, not saying you should crash or anything, but if you feel like testing, I mean, be my guest. More than half the field has now set a lap, and Persegili is sitting in the pit lane with a fresh set of mediums waiting for him. I do believe he's currently leaving the pit lane though, and it still says medium tires for him. So I think, yes, he is going to give it a go on the medium tires. Now coming out onto his outlap and trying to get a time set with that set. I think he's quite confident that he will be able to set a lap time somewhere in the low 38s if he wishes to stay well within the top 10. But then again, everybody's only set a banker lap so far, with the exception of Revitalized Matty, Boris, Vegas, Persegilis himself, and Potato, without a lap time so far. Currently Zane being the slowest by a very large margin of 0.8 of a second nearly, 39.8, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna have another try here. Let's see here, he's currently saving up his energy. He might be going into the pit lane, or he might be saving to go on another lap. Let's see what he does when he comes around this corner. Will he go for it? No, he's still... the ERS is still at 0, so that means he'll be coming in and set another lap later on in this session. Anyway, Potato then, on the track, not yet tested the castle barriers. I'm going to refer a lot to this terrible joke, by the way, just saying. He is now starting his hot lap, and off he goes into the first corner then, off towards the second corner. I'm not entirely sure, I don't think the corners have names, except for the castle section, which is a string of corners, of course. And Persegili is also going to start his hot lap here. There he comes then. DRS on. There he goes, across the line. And left into corner 1. Let's see what he can do. And no, well, actually he already invalidated this lap, so that's already one lap on the medium tires completely gone to waste, which is a shame. He's gonna have to try again then. Johan started a new flying lap as one of the Alpha Tauris is now coming out of the pit lane. I believe that is. As his teammate B-Bix is already on a hot lap. Let's have a little look. He's only less than 1/10 away from the pole position currently. Now heading to the end of the first sector. Let's see how much faster he is. He currently is faster than iBlue, I believe, judging by my quick math skills here. Very tight there through the castle section. Now he's really pushing hard. Let's have a little look here from the top camera on his car. Persegili moving out of the way there. He is going to have to try here and set a quick time if he wishes to get the provisional pole. There, very much on the limits through that corner over there. At the end of the second sector, he is now up. Oh dear, no, he's above the time by 2 seconds. I think he's going to have another try here. No. Looks like he's not going to try here at all. Let's have a little look then at Persegili, who's now going to come across the line here. DRS on for a second try on the Azerbaijan track. Now then, a second try for him into the left-hander. Can he claim a strong position here with his medium tires? Speaking of medium tires, we also see that Nevo is now coming out on the medium tires, interestingly. Currently only 1/10 up on his soft tire time, so that is interesting. So he might have taken it quite slow there on his soft tires and is now trying to improve it on the mediums. Now on the final straight then, DRS will be going open soon. And there he goes. Let's see if he can improve and then quickly return to Persegili. No, he's going in the pit lane, never mind that. So let's see what Persegili can do then. As Taisu is now going fastest overall with a 37.6. And Gilmov improving to P2 with 1 millisecond to spare to High Blue. I mean, if there's anything close, then I'm pretty sure that is very close indeed. Only Matty, Persegili and Potato have not yet set a lap time. I'm not entirely sure why some people wait this long. Anyway, purple second sector apparently from Persegili. So that is promising if it's true, but then again, the game often says the second sector is purple, even when you're 6/10 off the fastest time of that sector. So let's figure out if the game is right or not. I find it hard to believe you can drive at 37 on a medium tire. No, as I said, a low 38, currently sitting P8 as the final sector is also purple. He's only half a second of pole position. So that's a pretty impressive time on the medium tires, looking strong. However, it's only P8, as you can see. Once again, the grid is incredibly close and very tight, as we now have a yellow flag over here. Several people apparently have backed up, trying to get a lap in. Now then, Boris, here currently sitting in P11, was one of those guys who had slowed down. Let's see what he will do. I think he's coming in, actually, judging by the fact that he's still saving ERS. While the guy behind him, let's see who that might be. It's not Revitalized, so I think it's Gilmov, who's also most likely to come in, as he just set the lap time of a 37.747. And Matty now, my goodness! Man, this guy's flying today. Look at the lap time. He set a 37.3, ladies and gentlemen. Now that is quick. Very, very quick. Wondering though, no, iBlue currently not setting a lap time as we speak. However, he's no longer on an official outlap. As you can see, already probably preparing to do another attempt on a hot lap, or maybe returning to the pit. 37.694 is his time at the moment. Third on the grid for the time being, slowing down to let the Alfa Romeo pass there. I believe it's either Vegas, it's Skykertoffel actually. He is currently driving a lap time here, trying to move himself up the grid. Sitting in P11 is actually not the worst place to be. But then again, if you can be higher up, why wouldn't you try? But I do think he's going to go into the pit lane, as his ERS is currently not doing anything. In the meanwhile, we haven't yet looked at the McLarens properly. Pensy, for example, is currently heading around the second sector. Let's see what his time will be. Currently sitting in P9, so there's plenty of improvement for him to go on there. End of the second sector, I don't see any time, but then again, he is a 1:48. And now he's suddenly in the pit lane. How did he do that? Interesting. Anyway. There comes his teammate Strusiek, while his teammate has teleported to the pit lane. Also coming in, I think. Yep, there he comes. So it's slowly starting. So, wow, okay. Completely misjudged my speaking there. It's starting to quiet down on the track. Let's see here. Bebix is now trying to set a lap time here. Looking strong at several occasions here, but only able to improve one position to P4. Several others are out at the moment. 310's Matrix is up on his previous lap time, but he is trying nonetheless, as there's a yellow flag in the first sector for slow cars. No spins, no crashes so far, and the castle barrier is still looking strong, my friends. Looking strong indeed. Matrix then, in the final sector. Let's see what he will do. Currently giving it his all with whatever he has remaining of his ERS, which isn't a lot. He might just abandon his lap altogether. Let's see what he does. Is he veering left for the pit lane? Looks like he is, yes. This lap is over for him. In he comes. And now some people are preparing for their final outlap, as there's only 2 minutes left in the qualifying session here today in Azerbaijan, the capital city, Baku. Guillermo, what can he do in his Williams? Can he actually jump himself into pole position? He'll need about 3 and a bit tenths to get himself onto that front row, more or less. So can he do that? Let's figure out very soon. As Bebix is now going in, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure he is. Anyways, many people preparing themselves on the outlap. Some people are slowing down. Matty letting past Taisu in the Alpine there. Preparing himself for the hot lap. Oh dear. Taisu has made a little bit of a mistake there. I was starting to wonder where Taisu went off to, but it looks like he ran a bit wide and now he's stuck. So that's going to cost him valuable time. He's finally managed to turn around, but I do think that this is his qualifying over. No good news then for Taisu, as he might lose that front row position, as several people are going to try and hunt that time down. Let's see how the car is doing. From the outside, it does look Taisu's car is just fine. But you never know, it might be a slight nudge to the front wing, a tiny bite out of it, as he is coming across some very slow cars ahead of him now, preparing for a hot lap. He has to do the same. It looks like he's going to make it in time. And he's actually going to do it. So, not giving up yet. Very good, very good. His tires are okay, his car is looking okay, so he is going to have a go then at the pole position of Matty. iBlue, same, has now started his lap. Gilmov already started his lap, but he's messed up here in the castle section, reversing out of it. So that's his qualifying over for sure. Taisu then, ready to cross the line and start his hot lap here. Many people are behind one another in the first sector there. I'm not entirely sure who's on a hot lap and who is not. But anyway, let's have a little look here at one of the challenges for pole position then. iBlue approaching the end of the first sector. He's 2 tenths up at the moment, so that's looking strong for him. However, Matty is even faster, half a tenth up on his old time. Taisu's given up. Looks like he's crashed in the first sector. So that is his front row seat in very big danger indeed. Oh, that's immensely tight there for iBlue in the castle section. Looks like he's still going strong, however. Matty following him closely behind. Trying to defend his pole position with all his might. The AM has now improved to 3rd place. He's qualifying over 37.6 then. iBlue coming across the end of the second sector. Still 2 tenths up on his time. Not enough yet, as Matty is now coming at the end of the final sector. He's now 4 tenths up on his old time. So that might be even a 36. It looks like iBlue will not succeed in grabbing pole position, as Matty is giving it his all. And he might just be getting a small tow here from iBlue. An unwanted tow. And iBlue then coming across the line very soon, driving as... Oh, he actually did go fastest for the time being. 37.3. However, as I predicted, Matty was much faster. More than 3 tenths ahead. Now in pole position, as surprise, surprise, there comes Zane. 37.5, now sitting on the second row in P3. Well done to him. And I do believe that this is at the end of qualifying, unless Potato is still going to do something. No, he's heading into the pit lane. A very disappointing qualifying for him in P17 only. Not as disappointed probably as Matrix is in last place. That's it for the qualifying session, as we see one of the Ferraris being dragged back into the garage. Matty then, looking lively indeed today. Pole position for the fresh Red Bull driver. Excellent job from him. iBlue then coming into P2. Zane fast 3rd on the grid. Taisu in 4th, along with his teammate in 5th place in the 3rd row. Nevo in P6. Bebix in 7th. Skykotovel in 8th. Guillemot in 9th. And Vegas in 10th. As you've all noticed, we do see that the Geffa is currently not partaking, so that's his potential championship lead gone for the time being. However, let's see what the race will do in a few moments. currently waiting for the drivers to get themselves ready, and I believe they are ready. Let's see what the weather will do today. So far, we haven't had a single droplet of rain. And as you know, spectators can't really see any weather predictions at all, which is a bit of a shame, unfortunately. So Codemasters, if you are watching, please invent something like a weather system for a spectator, as it's incredibly useful. Unless people are stream sniping, that is. Preparing ourselves for the race, then the top 10. I do believe from the top of my head all of them are starting on the soft tires. Some have attempted to do something on the mediums, but I don't think anyone in the top 10 is now going to start in the soft. The most obvious strategy is going to be a one stop, but then again, anything can happen in this race. I do predict some accidents on this track, as it so often does. Anyway, the game says a two-stop strategy is the way to go. But we all know that we do like, as drivers, to disobey what the game says we should do. Let's see, have a look at the tires here at the top 10, as I said, starting on the soft tires, and everybody below starting on the medium tires, with the exception of Petsy in P13 starting on the hards. The only driver on the entire grid to do so. So he'll probably predict a safety car, so he can switch to his mediums and do a two-stop with the safety car, going from mediums to mediums. That might be a strong strategy indeed. Otherwise, it's going to be from hards to mediums, which in turn is also particularly useful. Useful in two reasons, in that you'll be able to stay on longer and be faster by the end of the race when your car is lighter as well. Saw a bit of a lag spike there. I hope it will not persist throughout the race, as I've tried several things to improve it. I do believe it's on the game's side. As we all know, Codemaster games in Formula 1 series are currently not optimized perfectly well. And I've tried everything in my power to fix it on my side, and I do believe that any lag, any frame rate issues now happening are beyond my control. So I do apologize, but I can no longer help anything like it. They should just optimize the game better. My PC is more than capable enough of live streaming anyways. On the main straight they come then. Matty leading the pack to the race start. 26 laps await us for this race, and let's see who will come out on top. Looks like Matty is looking very strong. It looks very feisty. Attempting that race win today, ladies and gentlemen. There he comes. To the race start. So far it looks like it will be sunny all throughout the session, which is what the drivers would like to have, most likely. I mean, who would want rain if they were a driver? I mean, for us viewers it's exciting, of course, but for the drivers it's a nightmare. Anyway, all cars have lined up now on the start line, and it's waiting for those lights, which are turning on right now. The fourth round of the AOR Tier 2 League is starting now, and it looks like a good start. However, it seems like the Mercedes of Zane is also getting away quite well, trying to go around the outside of iBlue, but it seems like Matty is still leading the pack for the time being. However, iBlue trying to go around the inside and taking that lead. No, he actually didn't take the lead there, as Matty was able to take a bit more speed on the outside, and now iBlue under threat there from Zane Fast, trying to take the second position from him. Both Alpine drivers are also side by side, trying to be careful with one another. Of course, I know they're a great team together. However, on track, you'll have to fight in whatever you want to have. And then I see a little bit of an accident there in the back of the grid, as Matrix has made a bit of an accident or spin or whatever happened there in the back. But it looks like Matty's got away safely, and Zane is having to defend his second place. Now, Taisu now coming up to P3 after his disastrous qualifying. However, iBlue is not giving up his position that easily. Side by side in this sector, Is a bit of a risk though, and he backs out wisely and safely. The AM then still sitting in P5. Speaking of where they are sitting, let's have a little bit of a look here how the positions have changed. Vegas fallen down 6 positions since the race start, and now we are all underway. Matty has been able to get a massive gap in the lead here, 3 seconds already after the second sector, as these guys have been fighting madly for position. Zane then going off the track there, probably getting a warning for that one, as he's now going to have to defend hard from the quickly approaching Taisu, who might have grabbed pole position, judging by the pace he currently has. I mean, look at this, now approaching Zane fast, trying to go for P2. ERS all on. Zane defending the inside. There they are in turn 1. It looks like Zane is going to have the edge here. However, never underestimate Taisu here trying to go around the outside. They're still side by side going into turn 2. Now Zane is slightly ahead and Taisu will be on the back foot for the time being. And we have a spin. It's iBlue who spun out. Not entirely sure if there was contact there or not. He's ghosting thankfully so he can safely turn around. However, that's his race over unless there's a very lucky safety car for him. So the man there starting in the second place has now fallen back to, well, almost last place there, as once again the game decides to mess up a little bit of the standings, and let's hope that will get fixed fast. It looks like it is. Now we can actually judge where iBlue is supposed to be, and on the map it's a very far and lonely last place. So then, Matty safely leading from the rest of the group here. Look at this massive train behind Zane fast there. Now it's kind of hard to judge. Is the AN actually ahead of Taisu? He is! Something's definitely happened there, as we see several cars very close behind one another. For example, B-Bix behind Taisu. No, sorry. Oh, that's a front wing, and a lot of carnage has happened there. Zane fast was standing the other way around. Many things happened there. I'm not entirely sure what exactly has caused the crash over there. But now carnage is starting to happen, ladies and gentlemen. As now here both Alpine drivers have managed to drive away from the rest of the group, as Zane has crashed. And another crash happening in the background, as Johan has made up so many places here. It's unbelievable. Nearly crashing into one of the McLarens or one of the Alfa Romeos. It's going so quick I can barely keep up anymore. Anyway, we're heading down with the third lap. Several people are having to pit. Well, when I say several people, loads of people actually are going to the pit lane. By which I mean 6 drivers are having to come in for repairs. So a lot of carnage happened on the second lap there. Not a great start for several drivers here. As Persigili now sitting in 5th place, cannot believe his luck. Starting in P14, Boris as well. Both of them made up 9 places, and our Persigili is looking very feisty now. Chasing down Sky Kartoffel for P4. Johan then sitting in P3, incredible start from him. 3rd lap and already made up 9 places now. The 3rd driver on the track in his Ferrari, doing a great job. Taisu then in a lonely P2 now, as VAM has gone in for repairs, sitting in a lonely, far away P13. Well, not really lonely. iBlue is just ahead of him, but anyway, doesn't really matter anymore. This is where the fighting is going to happen, and when I say the fighting is happening, it's over here in this group. Sky Kartoffel then having to defend off Boris, who's trying to go for a daring move on this part of the track. Is he actually going to dare and do it? No, if he's wise, he's going to wait for the DRS here. And it looks like he is, as the standings are now completely messed up. These intervals are completely incorrect, of course. So we're going to have to judge fights based on the track map. I hope I will be able to keep up, as so much is happening now. Look at all the fights going on in this little group here. Boris fighting Sky Kartoffel, Patsy and Potato fighting here. Potato also having an incredible start, starting second to last now in P8. And here they come then, many Tragars going side by side as Sky Kartoffel bails out, going into the pit lane then. Boris is able to fend off Patsy just barely. Patsy on the hard tires doing an amazing job, having made up 7 places already now, trying to fight for P5 after many cars have had to pit. Same goes for Potato, of course, starting far behind the rest in P17. Now trying to get that another position there in P6, as both drivers are now approaching the Ferrari. Potato, of course, has to back out, otherwise he'll be rear-ending the said Ferrari. And Vegas also has made up several places now. After losing 6 in the start, he's now up 2 places from his starting position then. Doing great, all of them. A lot of interesting racing going on today. This group here is fighting for P5. Persegidi is driven away from them, and I think things might just settle down a little bit, which is good for me because I've been talking my lungs out here, ladies and gentlemen. Good lord, so much action is going on. Vitalize here made up 6 places as well, while Zane has lost 6 of them. Vitalize still looking for his first points, and he's currently perfectly well positioned to get those points. Boris trying to create the gap from 6th placed Pedzi, and he's succeeding as he's now 1 second ahead on the main straight, which is important. However, Potato is very close behind Pedzi now, nearly pushing the McLaren there into the final straight. And he's got plenty of DRS and ERS to overtake, and the overtake has already happened. Pedzi now going into his slipstream, trying to come back at him, but of course that will not work for now. He's gonna have to be patient and wait with his hard tires. Strategy is key when you're choosing a different tire to the rest of the field. As for Vitalize, is now past Zane fast for P9. So looking good there for the Williams driver. His teammate, unfortunately, while setting the fastest lap, is in the back of the field, currently sitting P13. Boris now definitely driven away from Potato. However, it looks like Potato is attempting to close that gap. 1.4 seconds separate him from Boris in P5. And it looks like another fight is brewing up soon as Persegidi has rushed himself towards Johan, both on the medium tires, fighting for the final podium positions. Taisu is now very, very far from Matti. Matti looks like a beast on this track. 9 seconds ahead of P2 in 5 laps. It's incredible. Let's see, no ERS just yet, as we have the first DNF of the race. It looks like Revitalize is out. Let's see if we can see what happened there. There he is at the side of the track. Probably lost control of his car, and that is the first safety car of the race, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't seen a safety car in over 2 weeks. Monaco didn't feature any of them, and of course the race leader has come in for his first stop, going to the medium tires, looking like a 2-stop there, unless he can stretch his medium for 20 laps, which would be insane. Taisu coming and going for the hard tire. Interesting, we're seeing different strategies going on here. Boris and of course Pedzi staying out. Pedzi cannot believe his luck. I think this is what he wanted. I think he was calculating this into his strategy, as he's now able to drive easily into P3. And his hard tire still relatively fresh. He can pit later if he likes. Pretty much everybody's coming to the pit lane. Several of them are skipping the pit lane. 2 of them being Boris and Pedzi. Now sitting in P2 and 3. Matti, however, still retaining the race lead. He cannot believe his luck. He's now leading the race in fresh medium tires. And I'm quite sure that Boris will not be able to mount a proper defense. Revitalize then out of the race once again. All of his races so far have resulted in a DNF, which is very, very unfortunate for him. I was very much rooting for him to get some points one way or another. Looks like it's not going to happen again. Revitalize then out of the race. Interestingly, Matti is getting a very low gear to get through the castle section, hanging in 5th gear, which I have never seen before. A second group of cars is trying to get to the safety car here, the group of Zane Fast, followed by the group of iBlue and the rest. iBlue cannot believe his bad luck here, spinning and losing a potential podium or maybe even a win. Very far behind, however, is Nevo. sitting in last place at the moment, still having to catch up to the group. So of course the safety car will not come in this lap just yet. We're gonna have to wait for that an additional lap. So then, the field has shaken up after only 7 laps. I mean, look at the position changes of all these cars. Many have won a position and many have lost a position, or 12. Nevo coming into the pit lane. Again, not entirely sure what he's up to today. I think he's going to switch to a new set of tires. I don't think he's happy with his hard. A new front wing. Ah, there you go. That explains it. He's lucky as he can actually take his time there in the pit lane. He will not lose any track time whatsoever, as he now is able to catch up to the group again, as they are now reaching the end of the first sector. So he have plenty of time, and in the meantime he can warm up his tires too, which is of course very useful indeed. So then I do expect the safety car to come in at the end of this lap. Let's see what will happen. In the 4th race of the AOR 22nd season in Tier 2, brought to you by SimSock, Driver 61 and of course Elgato. All sponsors of this racing league. No sign just yet of the safety car coming, but usually that happens at the end of the 2nd sector, and Nevo has now connected to the group. So here it is then, the official message. Safety car in this lap. Now Matty can dictate the pace for the rest of the field. Swerving there, trying to get as much heat into his tires as possible. Looks like him and many others will be setting a 2-stop here. However, I do believe Taisu, Johan and Persikidi and Zane and Strusiak might just go for a 1-stop on their hard tires. Interesting. Petty, of course, still is yet to pit on his hard tires, but let's see what happens on race restart. Approaching the finish line, Matty is still waiting, and there he goes. Off he goes. The rest of the field following him then. Into the first corner, Taisu already side by side with Pedzi, trying to go in a little bit of a fancy overtake there. However, that puts him into trouble as now Johan is fancying a move on him. In the meanwhile, the AM is fancying a move on Johan. So a lot of things already happening at the restart of the race, and it looks like another thing here going on between Perseguini and Potato. However, Potato is not able to keep up with the fast Mercedes there. And Matty then safely leading the race once again. Still not giving up the lead so far, doing an incredible job. Taisu then chasing down the McLaren of Petzi, sitting in P3 there, trying to get that final podium position, as we have Nevo, who spun again. It's not his day today, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Matty pulling away from Boris, who's pulling away from Petzi, who's trying to fend off Taisu here in the castle section. So far though, it looks like the rest of the group, apart from Nevo, has come through the race restart unscathed. But look at this massive train behind Petzi. How long will he be able to keep it up? Taisu is incredibly close to him, nearly pushing the McLaren through that next corner there, onto the final sector. Here it comes then, a potential overtake from Taisu. Will Pezzi defend hard, or will he let him go? Let's see here, it looks like Pezzi isn't defending at all. I think he knows. I think he's going to save his tires for as much as he can. However, he does keep up the pace now that Taisu no longer has a tow. Taisu forced onto the inside, and Pezzi keeps his position. So nice defending from him there, well done. Ooh, that looks like a bit of close combat here between Johan and the AM. Johan now is close the gap to Taisu. Zane Fast having to pit. Looks like a bit of contact was made somewhere, one way or another. Not a lucky day for him at all. First the scrap before the first safety car. Now after the restart, some more bad luck happening to him. Out of the pit lane he comes, and he's now very far behind the rest of the field. We're currently watching Taisu, who was in a very close battle with Petsi for the final podium position. Giving it his all, as Boris has moved away from the rest of the group, while Matty has moved away from him in place. He's already having a very healthy lead going into the final sector. However, this is what we want to see. What will happen here? Pesci defending for his life. He knows he cannot keep up forever on his older hard tires. However, they're not that old. And Tyson knows he is now up for a challenge. However, this time he can try to have a go around the outside. And he's struggling so hard to get side by side with him once he's outside of that slipstream. Look at this. And now he's having a proper go around the outside, and he's passed. However, he'll be in trouble very soon, as now Pesci will have the DRS here. And Johan is looking under big pressure from the AM. It looks like the AM is patiently waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Let's see here, Potato is being chased down by two Alfa Romeos as Matrix... Oh! Completely misjudged his braking point. Either that or some contact there was made by with Guillemot. However, after sitting in P10 for a while, he's now fallen down back the order into P14. Johan, meanwhile, fighting to get past Patsy. Surprisingly, he hasn't managed to do it just yet. Taisu is finally passed, by the way, and is now chasing down Boris with a massive pace here. Look at this. Boris thought he'd escape the group, but however, Taisu is now catching him rapidly. He's gonna go for it. Every corner he makes up several tenths. Look at the pace difference. He'll easily have DRS here. Keeps it up. However, Boris got plenty of ERS, so it's definitely not settled just yet. Another yellow flag as Nevo is now out of this race. Crashed. And another safety car. The race is neutralized once again, which is pretty good news for Boris, let's be fair. He just came in and he can't believe his luck. However, everybody's gonna have to pass the safety car, as the race leader has just gone past the safety car, so everybody's now having to do that. Boris then moving on to the hard tires for his one and likely only pit stop, as both Mercedes are now sitting behind in the back of the field by far. Perseguidi coming in again. 16 laps to go. What will he do? A set of used hard tires, surprisingly. Interesting. His teammate's gone past. Safety car is waiting for the race leader, who is now approaching castle section, so it will be taking a while until we resume the race. Hi Daniel, thank you for joining. The tires they're on you can currently see in the screen. I'm not entirely sure when you said it. Might have been 5 minutes or 10 minutes ago. But it looks like Patsy has decided to stay out. Is that a wise decision? I think he should have pitted. I mean, he's still got track position, but at some point he's going to have to pit. Because he still hasn't done so just yet. He's still on old hard tires, 10 laps old. Using them since the start of the race. So let's have a little look at what Patsy will do. Will he come in and stretch mediums to the end of the race? Yes, he will. He which is probably the best thing to do. He'll lose a lot of places, but at least he'll have fresh tires. And Matty, surprisingly, is coming as well. What is this? The race leader giving up his position for a fresh set of mediums. Will he anticipate under the safety car then? The nice stuttering engine glitch here from Codemasters, well done to them. As now Matty is sitting in 9th place after an unexpected pit stop. He's given up track position for a new set of tires. It looks like he'll be easily able to make the tires last till the end though, because it's only 14 laps after this one, and I don't think the safety car will come in just yet. However, let's have a little look at the map. No, it might just come in actually. I'm pretty sure that both Mercedes and Boris's Ferrari are able to catch up easily to the group. So let's see what happens from here on out. Many questions we can have here. For example, will DAM come in for a second stop as his tires are now already 8 laps old? The same goes for everybody on the medium tires with 5 laps old age. Potato, Vegas, Guillemot, BBX, iBlue. All on 5 lap old medium tires. Matrix on 8 lap old mediums. Will they try to stretch the stint to the end of the race? We know from Matrix that he's able to do such a strategy. He's pulled it off before in Bahrain in the first race. Safety car in this lap. Taisu is now leading the pack down to the finish line. And this time the Ferrari of Johan is now in P2. Where the other Ferrari of Boris used to be there. So, who'll be leading in turn 1? Let's find out very soon. I think Thijs is going to do the same. Wait until very close to the finish line to get the race underway. And there he goes then. All ZRS used and a nice restart for him then. Looks like he'll be keeping the lead in turn 1. However, Potato already under pressure from a Alfa Romeo there. He's able to keep it safe there as Guillemot has now passed the Alfa Romeo. Vegas hasn't positioned his car well enough to defend his position. Guillemot moved up a position then, well done to him. The AM is trying to make it an Alpine 1-2 as Johan is swerving around the track trying to get some extra heat into his tires. However, the AM has already got 9 lap old mediums. As now Matrix has finally managed to get past Strusiak. However, don't say it just yet, Rob Frost. Looks like he's managed to do so. Both McLarens done, and outside of the points now, and they badly need some as their team is currently at the bottom of the constructor standings. Johan not able to keep up the pace of Taisu, is already 1.2 seconds away from the rest. The AM then putting Johan under pressure to secure the Alpine 1-2 once again. And Vegas is the second driver to get a time penalty now, 3 seconds added to his final race time. Patsy impatiently waiting behind his teammate on fresher mediums. The question is though, will Strusiak move out of the way to get his teammate a bit of fresh air and trying to move past other cars in favor of the team who's lacking points at the moment. So let's figure out what will happen there. I do see though Potato being under serious pressure here from Guillemot, who's now going for a move. Side by side they go. And past he goes. Guillemot now moving into P4 and Potato. Whoa! There was some incredibly tight racing then going on. Matty already moved up to P7 from 9th place after the race restart. Past both Alpha Tauris. And they're trying to keep in his tracks. Nevo being disappointed, he broke his front wing in the safety car period, missed braking point and spun, and that's the end of the race for him. That's the explanation that came from the Discord, from the man himself, second non-finisher in a row. Strusiak seems to have a bit of a problem here. He's falling down the order quite rapidly. Now under pressure from both Mercedes. Ooh, what happened there? It's Potato! Is it Potato or is it Matty? It's Potato without a front wing. He actually tested the castle barriers. I mean, you didn't really have to do it, man. Seriously. Oh dear. No more front wing. Moving out of the way there then for the Mercedes, and that's his race pretty much over unless there's another safety car. I mean, never give up. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to retire in the pit. That's his race pretty much over, which means now Vegas has moved into P5 and Gilmov cannot believe his luck. He no longer has to defend for a while, as Vegas has now got a 3-second time penalty, as we know, so Gilmov will still have the P4, even if Vegas overtakes him at this moment. However, Matty is also lucky, as he's now going to move past Vegas for P5. It looks like an easy peasy move for him. He's already passed before the corner happens. Now then, the previous race leader hunting down the current race leader. Does look like both Zane and Potato now in the pit lane. Not sure why Zane is in there. Might have gotten some front wing damage then. Matty now setting the first fastest sector. Going purple there. And Gilmov is now putting on the pressure on DAM. Finally some luck for him. However, now that I said it, I probably jinxed it anyway. Let's hope that's not the case. Another yellow flag. Let's see, it's Matrix. Matrix, who's either spun or banged the wall. However, his front wing looks fine, so he might have just spun. However, more bad luck for him. Let's see how the fight on this place goes, however. Some tense things going on in this part of the group, fighting for the final podium position and P2 as well. DAM now with DRS on Johan, and there they all go. Johan cannot keep up with both drivers going past. Johan losing 2 places on the main straight, and he's fallen down the order into 4th place now under pressure from Matty. He might just lose another position here, so he's gonna have to give it everything in order to stay ahead of the very, very fast and feisty Matty here. Let's see here, iBlue currently under some pressure from one of the McLarens. However, doesn't like it's too much at the moment going on. This group, however, is more interesting as it's going for a podium position, 2 podium positions in fact, and Matty is now tantalizingly close to getting a podium back in his grasp. Johan nearly out of ERS. You'll not have much to defend with anymore, and Matty's ERS looking very healthy indeed. You currently cannot see the interval, unfortunately. And Vegas is out. He's crashed. And Skykartoffel is out as well. Both Alfa Romeos and another safety car, the 3rd one of this race, as both Alfa Romeos are gone. With one snap of the fingers, they're out. They might have just crashed into one another. It's a shame we didn't catch it on camera, as so much was going on. It's just so hard to keep up with what's happening, but that's the race for Skykartoffel and Vegas over. Now the question is, what will the rest of the field do? Taisu, will he come in? It's an Alpine 1-2 at the moment. Both of them staying out. Johan, however, is going into the pit lane here to switch his hard tires to, well, it might just be a set of softs. No, it's a set of mediums, just to be sure, which is probably for the best, if I'm honest. However, Matty is now in a perfect position to reclaim the race. To reclaim the race lead. as all the cars ahead of him have tires that are quite a bit older than his. And he's got the pace. So, Matty looking very strong for a race win today. So, the race neutralized for the third time. 17 laps gone, 3 safety cars. A lot of action. And Potato does have the potential to claw back up some places here. He hasn't given up, which is good on him. The group caught up, however Zanefast has slowed down for some reason. He might have outbraked himself a little bit there. Still got a whole front wing though, so looking fine. Looks like the safety car is gonna go around for another lap here. So we'll have to wait for the race to continue a little while longer. About 2 or 3 minutes here. More likely 3 minutes. So then, will Matty be able to reclaim the race lead and deny another Alpine 1-2? Will Guillemot finally get his podium position? Matty is the one who can deny him that, as well as several other cars behind him, both AlphaTauris for example. The McLarens now looking very strong. They can get some good points in the back today if they're careful. The Ferraris, one of them in the top 10, one of them just outside. Matrix trying to get some points in here. Zane trying to reclaim some of his luck. Same goes for Potato, who's had a great race start. He started in the back of the field, was in the front of the field after several laps, and now he's back again at the rear. Now this is the moment where the safety car will soon say, I'm going in, you're free to race for the 3rd time. Just 8 laps remain at the finish line coming up next. And then we'll see who will win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. If nothing crazy happens again, of course. Safety car coming in. Taisu once again leading the field. UAM is going to have to nurse his tires to the end. He's doing great so far, and lucky of course for him, the safety cars have been. His one and only stop being during the first safety car, now in the old mediums. Taisu keeping up a slightly stronger pace this time, not slowing down the field a lot, but still very much aware of the threat behind. There's plenty of threats coming from behind today. And he's off. Looks like a decent restart from him, however his teammate doesn't have a great restart. Already on the threat from Guillemot, however it looks like he's fine for the time being. Matty didn't have a great restart, he's now passed by BBix. That's his ambitions for the race win being hampered at the moment. And they're going side by side into turn 2 as well. Now BBix is still ahead, they're still side by side, using all of their ERS, both of them. Matty will have the inside line for the next corner as well, and now he's properly ahead B-Bix bailing out for the time being. However, Matty is looking a bit more vulnerable right now. Didn't have the greatest of restarts, and Taisu is already pulling away from the AM. The AM knows it. He knows his tires are growing very old now. Guillemot looking feisty, just like Matty is now past B-Bix again. B-Bix then sitting in P5, eyeing up Matty's car. However, Matty's car has got tires that are half as old as his tires are. As iBlue has now got a time penalty again. 3 seconds added to his race time, which isn't great when you have a restart not that far from the race end. Let's see what happens here though. Will Matty be able to pass Guillemot soon? Guillemot is looking strong though. He's approaching the AM. The AM doesn't have the tow from his teammate, or at least not enough. But it seems like he's able to hold him off for the time being. No heroics, of course, here. You have to be careful if you want the maximum amount of points. No risks. B-Bix has lost the connection to the group. Sitting in P5, chased down by Petsy, who has passed his teammate, now sitting in P6. As his teammate Strusiek is actually falling down in the order. Johan now sitting in P8, 13 lap old medium tires, not sure how much he can do there. Looks like though Boris is having a bit of a kerfuffle here with Strusiek. In the meantime, now also under pressure from Matrix, who's passed him as well. Strusiek falling down the order quickly now, rapidly, very fast. But of course, Matrix and Boris both have a fresh set of soft tires. Most likely saved from the qualification there. So they'll be faster for a while. However, we know the tires will fall off pretty quickly on this track. So let's see how long they can keep up that pace. Strong pace it is for now. Johan being impatient behind iBlue's old medium tires there, waiting for the DRS to happen. However, they're all stuck in a train behind Petsy. Sitting in P6. Now actually sitting behind B-Bix there, so B-Bix is the one holding up this group of 4, and it's all looking very scary here. Very, very scary. Several cars now are going to go side by side. Johan going side by side with iBlue, B-Bix and Petsy now fighting. Now it's going to be a fight with 4 cars. Look at this, 3 wide. Might it even become 4 wide? No, Johan is wise and keeps it behind for now. This is tight. And I think all of them came up unscathed. However, iBlue came off incredibly badly here, as he's now fallen down the order massively. In the inside line into turn 1 was the worst that could have happened to him. As now everybody here is eyeing up B-Bix for a pass. And Matrix has finally gotten himself into the points once again. On his quick soft tires, along with Boris moving up the field. In the meanwhile, Matty is still sitting in P4. With every lap, the chance of him still winning the race is going down. The AM trying to stay with his teammate, however he knows if he's getting too close, the rest will get DRS on him and Taisu. So he might just play it safe here for his teammate. Or he just doesn't have the pace. And I see there's another safety car. Why is that? Why is there another safety car? There's no DNF, there's no crash. Why is there a safety car? There's a bit of confusion here. Why has this happened? I mean, it's still 4 DNF, still both Alfa Romeos are out of the race. Looking at the intervals, there's nobody very far behind, so no spins. So likely no damage. So why is it a safety car? The 4th safety car of the race. Completely... I think we found a bit of the culprit here. It's one of the Ferraris. I think it's Johan. Driving without a front wing, so it's probably the debris on the track then. Both B-Bix and Johan. Oh no! Johan, what are you doing? He crashed himself out in the pit lane. Oh my goodness. What happened? Oh no. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm currently at a loss for words. Johan, what have you done? So then, the loss of his front wing being the cause of the safety car, not the fact that he crashed in the pit lane. Now, wow, okay, I'm speechless. I've seen many things in my spectating career, and believe me, my spectating and commentating career has been very, very, very short. And I'm pretty inexperienced at everything here. But then again, this I haven't seen before anywhere. Crashing in the pit lane during a safety car. Such a shame. Such a shame. Also a lot of bad luck here for both Alpha Tauris, falling down the order so massively, and judging from the fact that they were doing incredibly well at the start of the race. Let's see here, you see? Both of them having lost quite a few positions, especially iBlue, who was on the front row. Zane Fast, who was in P3, still far behind. Persegidi, his teammate, now finds himself sitting in P6. Let's see here, who should be the driver of the day? We can now discuss that at a leisurely place. It's kind of hard to judge, honestly. Matrix would be in for it. Potato, if he was still in a higher position. Guillemot would be a strong candidate as well, in my opinion. He's doing quite well so far. But then again, another race, another part of the race that is neutralized. Such a shame. Johan out of the race and Zane pitting then. It looks like he's serving a penalty there, and didn't see what penalty it was. Going for a fresh set of soft tires, still having to wait. Oh dear, teleportation. Timothy, thank you for asking. This is the 4th safety car. The 4th safety car, and I will grant you your request here, Daniel. The tire lives here, as shown. The AM having the oldest laps, tires. They are 19 laps old, medium tires. However, it's going to be an insane sprint race until the end. Reminds me a little bit of the real-life sprint race in Azerbaijan, where Hamilton massively outbraked himself due to a wrong setting, I believe. I don't think that will happen here, as we will not have a standing start, of course, as there's no red flags in the game. And standing restarts simply do not exist, because of no red flags. However, a sprint race till the end. Boris and Matrix looking strong as they can save their soft tires for a little bit there. 5 laps old now. Thing is though, how many positions can they make up still? Boris was looking strong at the start of the race. Halfway the race, I have to say, actually. So he might pull off something nice, as Persegidi ahead of him. He's got 50 lap old hard tires. The question is though, who can spoil the Alpine 1-2 party of today? Guillemot was looking feisty, but so is Matty. However, Matty has been struggling to get past the 3 ahead of him, while at the start of the race he was able to easily pick a 9-second gap within 5 or 7 laps time. Thing is though, Taisu now dictating the pace, and a very bad day for Alfa Romeo indeed. Still wish I had caught the crashing camera. I didn't, unfortunately. But I think you guys crashed into one another, didn't you, Sky Kartoffel? And there he goes once again. Taisu leading the field for the 3rd time. And Guillemot already on DAM. Trying to go side by side, not working, however. And Pedzi is looking feisty on Matty. However, that put him in trouble as Persegidi is now having to go side by side. Not yet, though. And Boris is having a go at Persegidi. He nearly puts him into a spin there. Very close and very dangerous. And now both soft tire users are swarming over the old and ancient hard tires there. Look at this. And they are not yet getting past. Persegidi defending with all his mind as Taisu has already pulled a 1 second gap to his teammate. Gilmov then side by side now with the AM trying to go for P2. It's way too tight on this part of the track. Matty patiently waiting behind. However, he's coming under pressure from Pedzi, who's got tires just as old as him. B-Big's already made up several places here. Look at him go at P8 at the moment on the freshest soft tires, along with Zane Fast. Then going wild there. He wants to make up as many positions in the remaining 3 laps, including this one. 2.5 laps, I have to say. It's going to be tight. Going to be very tight. Everybody's going to use everything in their power, and the DRS will not activate until the very last lap. So it's all depending on skill and ERS. No DRS until the final 2 straights of the race. Zane Fast now going past iBlue. And we have a yellow flag, and it's Potato out of the race. Crashed into the wall on the main straight. We saw what happening in the background. That makes already 6 DNFs in this race. It's insane, honestly. Guillemot now side by side, having a bit of contact there with the AM, fighting for that second position. Can they keep it whole? And there goes a spin. It's Pedzi going into a spin there, trying to fight Matty for P4 while being hunted from behind by Boris. And Persegili has now been overtaken by Boris, in fact, as we see some other side-by-side action, and Matty now trying to claim P3, and he actually manages to do so, and immediately going for P2, nearly outbraking himself and crashing into the AM. Now things, as I said, are heating up madly. It's the end of the race, a sprint race after 4 safety cars, actually. I mean, I'm almost losing my voice here. So much is going on today. Thankfully the lag hasn't been too bad today, so I do hope you enjoyed this insane race here on Baku City Circuit. B-Bix, oh no, he's crashed before the castle section where Taisu was stuck during qualifying. B-Bix out of the race, and that makes only 12 drivers remaining. In fact, B-Bix hasn't crashed, he's retired, probably too frustrated to continue. Dear me, much drama happening at the end of the race, and Matty is still looking at the back of Guillemov's Williams. He'll no longer be able to claim the race win, as Taisu has now pulled a 4-second gap to P2 here, his teammate the AM, who is still under massive pressure from both Guillemov and Matty. It looks like though Persegili is going side by side once again with Boris on his old and ancient hard tires, and he manages to do it. Getting ahead, however, Boris does have the inside line. It might be 4 wide here. Oh, there's a touch. More contacts being made between iBlue and Persegili, and now he's in trouble. iBlue's lost a bit of front wing here. And dearie me, the drama just won't stop. And Zane cannot believe his luck, now moved up into 5th place. Recovered much from what he's lost. And then Guillemov still fighting there. DAM has lost plenty of positions. With all the drama happening, we've missed this part of the drama going on. And Guillemov now looking very strong. Matty back into podium position. However, it's not over yet. There will be one more DRS position there at the final straight. So nothing's been said just yet. Guillemov might be in serious trouble, currently sitting in 2nd position. Both of the cars behind will go berserk. And especially Matty's got loads of ERS. He saved it all for the latter part of the race. And there he goes then, going to use it all. Getting and closing the gap. I don't think he's going to go for the overtake here. It would be wouldn't be a wise move. I think he's going to wait for the DRS moment here. But however, Guillemov does have some ERS left himself as well. So what will happen here then? The AM is falling behind now. He might have a bit of damage there. Zane Fast is now closed up to him. However, in the meanwhile, coming up into the finish line is the winner of the race, Taisu. No penalties for him today. And here he comes then, Matty. He's going to reclaim the front row, as we would say there. And here he comes. Is he able to do it? Is he able to do it on the line? And he's just barely making it past into second place. Matty then coming home in P2. Gilmo finally's got a podium here. Third place, well done to him. DEM is going to have to satisfy himself with fourth. Zane coming home in fifth place. I think he'll be satisfied after the disaster at the start of the race. Strisiak strong in P6 with the old hard tires. He's got Matrix in P7. iBlue in 8th place. Persegidi in 9th without a front wing, in fact. Boris in 10th place. And last to cross the line is Petsy in 11th place. Wow! What a race end that was. If you've got friends who like to watch Formula 1, make sure to share this link of this stream with them, as it was absolutely insane. And look at them here. Taisu then bowing to the crowd. He will extend his championship lead as he gains 25 points. And maybe even 26. I'm not sure who's got the fastest lap. Anyway, he's won the race. Matty in second place and Gilmov in third. Well done to all of them. And to all of the 11 survivors here. In fact, the 7 drivers didn't make the finish line. There we go. Matty's getting the fastest lap, so 1 extra point for him then. A 1 minute 40.4. The soft tire drivers were not able to beat this incredibly fast lap on the medium tire. So then the official race results are then in. This is your final result. Bibix and Potato were still classified officially. Everything from Johan down is no longer classified. So then, plenty of things to discuss. Let's see if there are actually drivers willing to give us a bit of an interview while we move out of the game and into the ready for interview. Interviews. Let's ask if people actually want the interview to go on. And there's probably going to be several drivers who want to share their opinion on this race, especially at the end. There was so much contact. It was a bit scary, honestly. Let's hope drivers will be able to give that interview, as I'd like to. Anyone. They're asking me who I want to interview. Well, anybody, of course, because, you know, the 11 people who finished did an incredible job, so I'd like to see their opinion and their view on the race. Let's see what happens. Even if you didn't finish the race, you're still welcome to get an interview. And it looks like Matrix is actually the first one willing to get the interview done. So let's move Matrix into the commentary box. Good evening to you, Matrix. Welcome in. You finished P7 today. So my big question, of course, is, are you satisfied with that?
I was trying to make that out for myself right now, because my performance was absolutely horrible. It was the worst race I ever had. I didn't get any practice in whatsoever, no setup whatsoever, and I'm hangover as hell.
Oh dear.
So my performance was absolutely horrific, and even getting points for this, I feel bad. Just sneaking a P10, I feel bad getting 1 point. P7 is horrendous, and the worst thing is, I easily could have finished higher if I didn't do that many silly mistakes, but even P7 I don't deserve, so I don't know how to feel right now.
Yeah, at some point I saw you all breaking yourself into turn 3, I believe, fighting with one of the Williamses, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it happened to me 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I noticed you falling down the order plenty of times. So yeah, well, still managing to get 6 points there. So, well, a bit of satisfaction, maybe.
It's some points for the championship, but
exactly.
Just a race to forget. I mean, I will see what was going on in the front, because all the safety cars were quite surprising to me as well.
Yeah, the last one especially was surprising, but it turned out one of the Ferraris had lost the front wing, so that explained it somewhat.
Right.
But yeah, it was an exciting race. Yeah.
That for sure.
Definitely.
Good.
All right, so thank you for joining us, and hopefully a bit less of a hangover next week for you, and more points in the back. Maybe.
All right. See ya.
See you, man. Matrix then finished 7th today. He was not entirely satisfied, but if I remember correctly, I do believe... Let's quickly flick back through the stream if I actually can do so myself. Judging by his qualification lap, he actually finished well down the order, I think. Yeah, in last place, still managing to finish in P7, so not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's see, anyone else? Let's see if I can get the podium finishers. Maybe some DNFs. DNF guys. Maybe even the bumper cars. Nonetheless, it was an insane race. I'm pretty sure you will agree with me on that part. So many things happened today. It was absolutely insane. Looks like nobody else is very into an interview today. Maybe people are frustrated about what happened. Not entirely satisfied with what happened. I mean, I'd like to talk to Guillermo, for example, getting his podium today. And the race winner. We're always trying to talk to the race winner, but it looks like nobody else is particularly interested into an interview. So, driver of the day. Might be an interesting discussion to see who's driver of the day. As I said, Matrix is definitely one of the contenders here, but I'm going to go with Guillermo. Finishing well on the podium, an incredible race from him. Taisu, of course, is one of the drivers who would also deserve it. Once again, winning a race and extending his championship lead with several points here. The GAFA didn't partake in the race today, so that's 25 points extending from him. And the AM finished only P4, so that's another 13 points extending from him. Either way, exciting nonetheless. Very exciting indeed. Let's have a little look at next week's race. I'm not entirely sure from the top of my head which race it's going to be, so let's grab the calendar quickly. It's going to be France. France. All right. So France then, definitely. In real life, several races have been pretty boring, except for the latest and the first incarnation there, which were both quite exciting. Matrix saying his race wasn't exciting. Well, I think everybody's race was exciting, judging from all the stuff that's happened, all the drama. So France next week then, followed by Austria, which might be very interesting. Great Britain, Hungary, Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, the USA, an unknown race, Japan, China, and another unknown race, and finishing in Brazil. So plenty of interesting stuff coming up. For now, it's Taisu in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, and Alpine, I think, are going to extend their team Constructors' Championship even further. Let's hope we can get one of the podium finishers into an interview at least. Looks like Guillermo is not going to be in today, which is unfortunate. He needs to get up early tomorrow, so that's understandable. But I think I'm going to call it a day. Let's see, last chance. Otherwise, I will finish the stream for now. However it may be, it's been an insanely, incredibly, and awesome race. Well done to every driver there surviving, and well done to pretty much every driver for trying to keep their car out of the barriers. Potato tested them out, and it looks like the castle barriers were reinforced indeed. The AM, if you want an interview, I'll have to join the waiting for interview, ready for interview voice channel. Otherwise, I cannot move you into my commentary box. Alright, looks like that is it today, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm gonna call it a day here for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this insane race. I for sure did, because it was absolutely, well, almost terrifyingly good. So many good races from this group lately. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, support AOR, and we'll see you next week in La France. See you later. Well, that just didn't work, really, didn't it? Let's try that again. Well, that worked. Bye-bye.